Hi everyone, my name is Devika and I'm your techie tantrika. So this week I'm covering online dating. Being a techie tantrika, I think it's important, of course, to cover online trends and just really great advances in technology that help us connect with other people and connect with ourselves on a deeper level. Online dating is definitely considered to be one of those. For me, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. It's definitely not, to be honest, the first tool I recommend for people, and there's a few reasons why. And I would say right off the bat, like, I'm talking about free sites. A lot of people I've met have also had a lot of success on paid sites. So if you're actually looking to date, it is definitely something that's worth considering. But I would say across the board, I definitely wouldn't recommend just putting all your eggs in one basket and having a lot of expectations for online dating. It can be like a spice you add to your life, like a little tool, I guess you could say, but definitely don't just rely on it. You're after quality over quantity, and just remember that's going to probably yield a couple good results here and there, but like, don't get discouraged by it either. So, I mean, this is going to go into the things that I'm concerned about with online dating. So, the top three things I'm concerned about with this is, which is why I don't usually recommend these sites, is like, well, the first one being safety. It's really easy to make a fake profile. I mean, with Tinder, it's really great because it connects to your Facebook profile, but even then, people can make fake profiles. But it does actually help me feel a bit safer when I see I have mutual friends with people on that. On POF, I don't find their moderation to be very strong. I've pointed out to them on a few occasions when I was on there that people were creating fake profiles and using images that weren't theirs. Those photos belong to, stars and porn stars and stuff like that, so like people like that. So it's like, yeah, the likelihood of those people being who they were was pretty unlikely. However, I found even after a couple of weeks, a lot of those profiles were still available on POF, so I just didn't feel very safe, and I had taken myself off there a few times because of that. So, and I've noticed over the years that that hasn't changed. They definitely need more of a stronger regiment for moderation in place. OkCupid, they do have a committee of users that do moderate, but I just feel like in general, a lot more needs to go into authenticating users on these sites for people's safety, and also not to waste your time. The second thing I would say is kind of this change I see in people's personalities as they go into online dating and rely on it a little too much. I find online dating can make people jaded sometimes. Like, they start feeling like everybody of one gender is like the people they're meeting on there. So, let's say if you're a female interested in men or a male interested in women, suddenly that gender you're attracted to or interested in suddenly becomes all bad for some reason. People just start getting kind of bitter about dating in general because of the bad run-ins they've had on these sites. But I have to remind you that the selection is what it is on online dating, and this doesn't represent individuals, people in general. So this is really good to remember. And the third thing being selection. Like, I know a lot of really great catches who are not on online dating. They just don't have the time, or there's a stigma around it. They just don't feel comfortable on there. These are things that are worth remembering when you're on there. And I'm hoping that the tips I give you today will also help you vet people a bit better so that you can have a good experience on online dating too. The first two things I obviously recommend when you're looking at, profiles, obviously, and I know these are really obvious, but I'll break them down a bit more, are looking at the person's profiles and photos, like, the profile material in their photos. Did the person spend time actually filling this information out and putting up photos that are authentic? These are things that are really worth considering. For photos, I think that's a whole other video, to be honest, but I'm just going to say quickly, look for authentic photos. People who smile, for example, have a higher rate of, connecting than people who are serious all the time in their photos. And also, are the people posing in their photos, like, are they trying to make their life look like something that it's not? Or are they genuinely just showing you them in the relaxed state of their life? As far as profiles go, obviously don't connect with people who left it blank or have just copied and pasted a bunch of crap in there, or quotes that aren't theirs. Like, you're looking for people, like, to write something about themselves. I will give respect to anybody who says, I'm not used to describing myself, and I'm not sure if anybody's going to read this, but here goes. Like, even those people, I mean, that sounds a little pessimistic. At least if they're saying, I'm not used to talking about myself, but I'm going to try it anyways, I do give those people credit because at least they're trying. So when you get to actually matching with people on online dating, I find it kind of interesting that some people don't want to take it off of the actual site and actually call you before they meet up with you. I would recommend not dating that person, or not meeting up with that person, I should say. Now, instincts play a big role in this. If anything, online dating is good for helping you craft your instincts. Like, somebody might seem really good on paper, for example, but your instincts are telling you not to go along with this. I would say listen to your instincts. My instincts have never led me wrong, and the times that I've had bad experiences were because I might have lowered my standards a little or tried to override my instincts, saying, oh, but this person likes all the things I like, or something like that, but I still just don't like the way we're communicating. Just honestly, like, I'm always respectful, and I expect people to be respectful to me. I will respectfully just say at that point, you know what, I just, thanks, but no thanks, I'm just not interested. I think directness goes a long way and saves you both a lot of time. Now, let's say you're talking and things are going really well, and once again, I'm like, from a female perspective, I do say that I wait for the person to ask me for my phone number, and there's two reasons for that. Transparency, which also equates to safety. I find people who are on there for hookups or cheating, that sort of thing, they don't usually take steps like to actually get to know you, like active steps. So that's one reason I do that. The other reason is I want to know that the person's interested. Like, I've seen so many situations where the person expects the other person to take all the steps, and I mean, there have been times, of course, where I've asked for the number first, but that's because the person's already shown genuine interest. Like, and once again, this goes back to instincts. Like, if you're talking and the person seems like a really good person and they actually are sharing information with you about their life, I don't mind at that point asking for it, but more often than not, I'll usually just let it go until they ask. And I know a lot of guys are always like, oh, I want you to make the steps first, but honestly, to be honest with you, I find the guys who ask me first are not wasting my time. Like, they actually want to make a connection, and they aren't really hiding anything. Like, they're actually single and ready to mingle. So let's say you get to the point where you talk and you're meeting. Obviously, meet in public. Like, too many stories. Just take my word for it. Don't ever lower a standard to a point where you're, like, putting your safety in jeopardy. Please, just don't do it. Like, meet up in Starbucks, meet up at a mall, like, and stay in the mall. Like, just, I would say in the first date, generally speaking, it's definitely not ideal to get in the car with the other person. Like, come with your own car, or just go to a transit accessible space. But anyways, go back to, your first date. Let's say you guys get it along really well. This person's just as wonderful as they are when you were talking to them, online and by the phone, and you're planning on going on another date. Great. This is awesome. This is pretty rare when you think about all the people you view profiles of, or that you talk with. Out of all of those, all of those experiences, you will probably only end up with a couple good experiences where you talk with a person like this, and these are great experiences. If you have no mutual friends that you know of already, that you can vet the person with, like, through, I should say, I would say by the third or fourth date, try to, find a way to actually get to meet this person's social circle. I've had dates where they've actually had, invited me to a friend's party, within a couple of dates or whatever, and that's really relieving to me, because this is showing me that they like me, and also they're not hiding something. And also, meeting a person's friends can go a long way as well. Getting to know who they like to hang out with and how they interact with their friends makes a big difference. So by the third or fourth date, I highly recommend, if you can find a way to meet their, social circle, do it. And another obvious tip I'll mention is, obviously, while you're vetting somebody, while you're, getting to know this person, it's probably a good idea not to sleep with them. And I'll only say this because sometimes you will end up dating people who are putting on a front, and it would be very elaborate, but let's say they are elaborately doing all this just to connect with you on a sexual level, and they're not really that serious about you. you don't want this to be the way you find that out. Sometimes, obviously, you're getting along really well on a chemistry level. I still think it's a really good idea to see how this person interacts with other people before you decide to continue, dating that person. I think that's such a huge component of dating somebody that that you're just meeting for the first time. And I know I could talk for ages about this stuff, so I'll stop here. I think this is, a good amount of information. In the meantime, I would love it if you would comment and let me know about your online dating experiences. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, everything. I'm always so curious about how people connect online. And please feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I will continue making videos like this about online dating and just dating in general and connecting. So until next week, I thank you all for watching this video, and take care, everyone.